In my last video, I got a lot of feedback from you all, and today we're gonna go over it. Hello, it's my sister, and welcome back. Let's recap. Before we begin, I do want to apologize for any crunchiness or buzzing that you may hear throughout the video. My mic is a little old. I am working on getting a new one. The main point to my last video was to open up a discussion, and I'm really happy to see that we were able to do that. First of all, I just want to say I've never had a YouTube video do that well, so it was a little scary going through the comments, but I really appreciate you all being so positive and giving constructive criticism and positive feedback instead of being, well, losers. I'd actually like to read this specific comment. I guarantee you if you can't climb out of silver, it's your problem and only your problem, not other people's problems. Even considering smurfs and cheaters, you will climb if you play more often and actually what mistakes you're making. I think there was a bit of a spelling error there, but we can work around that. The main point that I really like that this commenter brought up is that your rank is your responsibility. And it is true. The more often you play, the better of a chance you do have to rank up. I barely play, so I barely have a chance of ranking up. So thank you for the comment. I appreciate you bringing that up. That was something that I did want to say was a big problem is people blaming their teammates, not accepting accountability for their own mistakes. The same thing that I said for Smurfs in the last video can go to here. There's free coaching. There's a lot of videos online that you can watch. There's nothing wrong with saving a bunch of TikTok lineups that you found. There's nothing wrong with watching pros play to learn. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get better at a game. Don't let other people make you feel bad, because I know there are people that will try and make you feel bad. You really shouldn't let others make you feel bad for doing what you want to do, though. That is just a life lesson in general. That's not a Valorant thing. Besides videos and stuff, you really only get better by playing the game and trying to learn from your mistakes, but that's also just another life thing. To be totally honest, when I wrote the last script, it was right before I went to bed because I had this great idea and I was like, I need to get it out. I went, hey, this is good enough, and we moved on with it. Something I learned, don't do that again. Did I do that right now and write the whole script at work? Maybe. So anyway, with that small little ramble out of the way, let me get back to the main point of the video. Let's talk about smurfing. Me personally, I don't get it as much as you do, and I'm so glad that you all let me know. One comment that I'd actually really like to read says, smurfing is extremely common because you can buy dirt cheap iron ranked accounts online. Riot needs to do something about that. Good takes though. And yes, buying accounts is a big issue. I don't know what Riot can do about that, but if they could do something, that would be awesome. And it actually goes for all rank. I think that's also an issue that should be fixed. We should all just be playing in our own ranks. I don't really see what's wrong with that, guys. I did get a comment from a smurf, and I appreciate their positivity in the comments, so if that was you, thank you so much. They said, I sometimes smurf in low elo, and it's not because I'm inconfident in my own elo, it's because I'm immortal and my real life friends are bronze/silver, and I want to play with them. I think that's really nice of you that you still want to play with them, despite them being a lower elo than you. Hot take. I'm not a hater to smurfs who smurf to play with their friends. I know. I'm sorry. Call me the bad guy. I'm biased because I like to play with my friends who are higher elo than me. And playing with your friends is fun. And I'm here to have fun. I think what I want to say when I talk about smurfs is I'm talking about the people who just go in to smurf to make themselves feel better. People who solo queue into low elo on an alt account just because they're not doing well on their main account, which is a higher rank than their alt account. Thank you to the commenters who called me out on contradicting myself. I appreciate you. I know there are some people that quote unquote nerf themselves to play with their low elo friends to try and make it fair. From my understanding, they just do a different sense, maybe play different agents that they're uncomfortable with, maybe even aiming at the ground, aiming at toes. Another good comment I'd like to read says, I found leaving is the most common among smurfs from low ranks like gold/plat because they aren't good enough to solo carry and they rage at their teams and leave, lol. And to be honest, this could be a totally good guess as why people are leaving, and maybe this is even an answer. Something that I've noticed from looking over my games is people will leave at different times with different scores. It's not necessarily always like the bottom frag leaving. It's really anybody. They just leave. The reply to this was also really good. The reply said, I swear my friends' mental are so bad when it comes to Valorant. Stop blaming everything on your teammates when they are stuck in that rank for a reason. These comments were good feedback, so thank you. The last comment I'd like to bring up is a little bit long, so please bear with me. Smurfing is actually more common than what you think. I can even say it's just a huge part in that elo that even the game notices it and tries to avoid putting two smurfs on the same team. However, smurfs are usually not from high elo. They are usually golds and iron/bronze lobbies and plats and silvers. Sometimes Sometimes they do a huge impact in the game without being spotted because we usually spot Smurfs by KDA, but it's not the only aspect of the game. Smurf controller can make a huge difference while getting the average KDA to IMO. And this is also a really good point. I've actually played in a lobby with a plat as a silver, keep in mind, and they were controller, believe it or not, and their smokes were so good, I pinky promise you, that was a huge factor in winning the game. So this is also a really good point because sometimes it's just people a couple ranks above you, not significantly above you. And you also are right, smurfing isn't always about KDA. Sometimes you really don't notice it. So thank you for bringing up this point. This was a really good point to bring up about smurfing. There's two more things that I do want to say about the topic of smurfing. The first thing is try your very best not to let a smurf ruin your mental. I know it might be hard. My best advice for you is just try and play like a rat. That usually does it. The last thing is something that I did very briefly go over in my last video where I basically said that smurfing doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help the people that you play against, obviously. Most of the time, it does not help your team or the people you're playing with, even if it's your friends. And I only say that because maybe they want to learn and maybe it's harder for them to learn when they're getting a carry. But for the most part, when I personally play with my friends, I'm just there to have fun. If I bottom frag, if I go 0-20, I'm not too concerned. I do know that there are some people that do queue with their higher elo friends and say, hey, can you kind of coach me a little when, you're spectating me, or help me out with the setup, tell me what to do, and that's all fair and valid. Doesn't mean they always carry, just like the comment that we read a couple minutes ago. I am really happy that I could open a discussion about this in the comment section, and I really appreciate you guys positively replying to each other for those who did, so thank you. I did get a question, and there was a little bit of debate in the person who left the questions comment, and I would like to answer it. They asked basically why I didn't count gold as low elo, and I'd like to just say how I personally view the ranks, and if you view them different, I'd like you to let me know how you view them different and why you view them different. So in low elo, there's iron, bronze, and silver. In mid elo, there's gold, plat, and diamond, and then in high elo, there's ascendant, immortal, and radiant. Why do I group it like this? Simple. There's 9 ranks, so I just split it into equal groups. I don't base it off of how each rank really plays, so if you believe that people in gold play in a low elo type of fashion, then that's your opinion. Me personally, I just like grouping stuff together in an organized fashion. But if you like to look into it a little bit more than I do, then that's totally fine, and you should let me know how you do it in the comment section down below. While I was at work today and plotting out the script, I decided to ask my coworkers about what they didn't like about comp. That was my specific question. I did not ask them, what do you think is ruining comp? I just asked them what they don't like about it. They told me that they feel like people are getting more toxic a lot more quick than they used to, which honestly, after watching streams and playing myself, I do agree with this. I feel like if you miss one shot, keep in mind this is low elo where people maybe don't aim that well and people start screaming. If you're wondering how I personally deal with this, I'm a mute and report kind of gal, but honestly sometimes it just doesn't feel like enough because some people are just weird. This brings me back to a point that I made in my last video. Games are supposed to be fun, so don't let other people ruin your fun. Kind of like I said before with the Smurf issue, don't let a Smurf ruin your fun. Don't let toxic people ruin your fun. Me personally, I'm a mute and report kind of gal, but I do feel like that is all we can really do. I feel like Riot does need to step in a little bit more, especially because sometimes even after you mute and report someone, they end up either team killing or just shooting at you wherever you go. And while sometimes getting team killed is hard to dodge, I try my best to just play around them and move on. I do feel like my original video did open up a big can of worms that maybe we can all kind of pick apart and dissect together video by video. So if there's anything else that you would all like to say and have me read in another video or have me personally clarify my opinion on, let me know in the comments below. I know I did ask for a lot of comments, but I will try my best to read them all and reply to them all. This isn't the normal YouTube video style that I had planned for my channel because if you could not tell by my past videos, a lot of them are clip videos and of that sort. Sometimes it was something that I did on my stream. So along with these type of discussion videos, I do also plan on doing videos like story times and more clip comps, I guess. Thank you all so much for watching both my last video and this video. Like and subscribe. Until next time,